At this point, I wanted to show you that this is the steam box. This section right here, this is where the windows are going to be placed to steam heat the glazing such that it becomes soft enough for me to pry it off the glass. It should take about an hour for it to be soft enough so it just peels right off the glass. I've got one sash in here right now. I'm going to put another one in there, seal it up, and it's going to go in. They're going to be in there for 45 minutes to an hour. It's enough to soften them up enough to be able to peel that off, peel off the glazing. Steam box is made out of 1.5 inch foam lined with aluminum foil or foil lined foam, and it has reaches a temperature of about 210 degrees, well, almost boiling. This is the seal, the door, whatever to seal it in, sealing the heat. And I'll let that set for about an hour, take them out and start scraping them. So it's been about 45 minutes since I put the window sashes inside the steam box. And I'm going to take one of the sashes out. It's still steaming. I have to wear some pretty thick gloves because it's pretty hot. Set it up on the easel. I'm going to put the cover back on the box so the other sash can continue to steam. And then I take a stiff putty knife that's sharpened with a bevel on it, bevel side down, and start working the glazing out of the glass, off the glass. And as I scrape around, this very hot glazing peels right off. The points that hold the glass in, the metal points, typically will pull right out because the wood is so soft from the steam. I just simply go around. There's a point right there. Yeah, get that one out. There's another one there, just come out. The glazing is very, very soft. It does cool off pretty quickly, so it's important to try to get as much of the glass out as the putty off the glass as early as possible. There we go. Scraping out the putty. Careful not to push on the glass too hard or push on the points too much because then they'll crack the glass. This putty, the old putty is white and has a tendency to be much stiffer and harder, even though it's heated. See, the glass comes right out. I look at the glass, I look at the reflection of objects, and if the reflections are distorted, you can see the reflection of the light there. If the reflection is distorted, that means it's an older piece of glass. Once the glass has been removed, I try to get as much of the glazing out of the rabbit by taking a carbide scraper and pulling it through the rabbit, hoping that this glazing is still soft enough to come out easily, which in this case it is. If you pull too hard, sometimes the wood shreds, which makes it more difficult to get a smooth finish once the window is dried. So I try not to scrape too hard. If the wood starts shredding, I'll stop scraping and I'll scrape when it's dry so it doesn't shred. And once I get the sides done, I'll flip the windows, rotate it so it's easier to do the scraping. I like to do the scraping vertically so I don't have to use gravity. I don't have to work against gravity. But also the paint is very soft due to the heat, and it will tend to scrape off much more readily right now than later, and it doesn't give off a lot of dust, which I'm trying to avoid because of the lead in the paint. Oops. Restoring these windows, I want to try to get all the paint off, so I can put a new coat of primer on and everything. The window is pretty much brought back to its original wood. This window has seen a lot of exposure, so it's in pretty rough shape. But everything's intact, there's nothing broken, it's solid. Some of these windows I've had to take them apart and introduce a new piece, which one of these pieces might have split or broken or rotted away. So I had the window taken apart. I take pieces from another window sash or make up a piece and install it and reassemble the window. The window's assembled with pins. There's a pin at every one of these spots that holds these pieces all together. So every single piece of glass that comes out of these windows has to be scraped clean, the edges, the paint and the glazing removed, and then I do a quick wash, window cleaner, to remove the dust, and have them ready for glazing inside the sash. With 24 of these per window. Last step. glazing. Each piece of glass has to be fitted in the old sash because the old sashes aren't exactly straight and the old glass is not exactly square. So I make sure each piece of glass goes in and fits properly. Sometimes some of the glass comes out being a little too big or too small. Take out, once they're fitted, I put a bead of silicone, clear silicone, as a bedding in the rabbet. Firmly press the glass into the silicone to squeeze it out. And move on to the next one. Final glazing.